welcome in. This is Sports by the Book. A little different looking today. We're off a property. We're actually at Canyon Gate Country Club. I'm Alex White alongside Barry Phillips. Very excited about this. First majors of the year. Are you ready, Barry?
I'm ready. I got my Masters gear on. You know, everyone's been waiting for this at Betts Golf. We've all been waiting for this now for, 6 months, and the Masters is the best.
I can't wait. In Augusta, of course, and for the green jacket.
Right.
95 in the field this year, which is the most in quite some time.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that?
No, as I mentioned, it's not the strongest field of all the majors. One of the reasons is there's a lot of invitations. There's amateurs that play in the field. There's former champions that play in the field. International players in the field. So there's a lot of different ways to get into the Masters that's different than, like, say, the U.S. Open, where the top players get in and then they have qualifiers to get in. The Masters is invitational, and they like to keep their traditions alive. So 95 players is good. Out of that, let's say there's 45 that have a legitimate chance to win it, and those are the ones we're going to talk about today. Everybody knows the leaders, okay? It's going to be Scheffler, potentially he's going to be there. He's won 2 of the last 3 years.
Right.
He's now down to 9-2. Rory's having a fantastic year. He's won twice already. He opened at 12-1. He's now 6-1. Those are the only 2 that are under double digits. Everybody else, you're getting more than 10-1. You got to like that. It's now the 4th year of the Live Golf Tour.
Yeah.
And so there's guys that we haven't seen. Nobody watches them on TV when you're talking about Koepka, DeChambeau, John Rahm, who won it a couple years ago. John Rahm's third favorite. He's at 15-1 now. We opened at 12. He's up to 15. I mean, Koepka's somewhere in the top, but he's 20-1 now. So these guys that you don't see on TV a lot, who are great players, have great value. They might be sneaking under the radar, but nobody really knows the value of these guys that are playing on the Live Tour now.
Koepka 20-1 now, 30-1.
Oh,
if
even
you do
better.
like him. Let's start with those top 3 that you mentioned quickly and see if you do think there's any value. Scheffler, a little bit of a slower start for him than we're used to,
yes,
which is still probably an A+ for other golfers, maybe an A- for other golfers, plus 450. Rory can't get over the hump, right? Has had an incredible career, but no green jacket.
Yeah.
Do we like him at 6-1? You said he's playing some of his best golf.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 wins this year already, and this is kind of the year for him. I think he's really geared up to try and win the Masters this year. At 6-1, it's not great value, but when you're getting one of the favorites at more than 5-1, you kind of like that. I actually like Rory as a small bet. I actually like him in some of the matchups as well. Okay. He's playing the best golf he's played in the last several years, and if you watch Full Swing, which is the show on Netflix, they talked about him getting ready for the majors. He's ready this year. In, I think it was 2021, they finished 1-2, Scheffler and Rory. So Rory's ready. Scheffler's ready. Scheffler, you just mentioned a slow start, but he injured his hand. He missed the first several tournaments of the year. He's rebounded. He finished second a couple of weeks ago. He's ready as well, and he's won 2 of the last 3. He finished 10 under in 22. He finished 11 under in 24. That's right at the number of a 276 number that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but those 2 should be there, right? They should be there. You can bet them, by the way. If you think they're going to finish in the top 10, there's a wager for that. Because the South Point has 4 or 5 sheets, right? Yeah. You can bet top 10, top 20.
Well, that's how you know if you're a true golf bettor. You really look deeper into just the outrights. Now, if you're kind of just an amateur, just play for fun, you want that big number, right? And you're really going for some long shots here. So we're going to hit both of those. Let's go to contenders. We talked about those top 3, and maybe you can get a better price after the first or second day on Rory or Scotty. So kind of waiting on those. But going down the list here now, Xander Schauffele was dealing with a rib injury.
Correct.
Starting to play, though, again, we've got him at 20-1. You brought up Brooks Koepka, now 30-1. Any down this list? What about Morikawa?
Well, he's the guy that everybody loves right now. Colin Morikawa's got 2 majors. He's been bet down from, I think he opened up at a pretty good number. He opened up at 22, and he's down to 12. The interesting thing is when you look at the matchups, Morikawa is a dog to both Scotty and to Rory. He's plus 120 against Rory, and he's plus 165 against Scotty. So if you think Morikawa does have a shot to get there, you're going to get him at 12-1 on the straight bet. You can get him up against the number 1 and number 2 players in the world with a favorite, which is interesting. So he's playing well. He's putting well. He's been in 3 major Masters so far. He's finished in the top 10 all 3 times. Okay. So I like the bet of him finishing in the top 10, and that's plus 130 to finish in the top 10. So I like Morikawa to finish in the top 10. It's actually one of my better bets, and I think he's going to be there. Ludwig Ahlberg is a guy that at 15-1 is tremendous value in my book.
Okay, and he didn't back down last year. I remember that Sunday, him playing, trying to chase down Scotty Scheffler, right?
Yeah, I think Ludwig Ahlberg, who is like kind of the wonder boy, he's really good. He's kind of like the face of golf in the future. Some of the other guys you just mentioned, Xander Schauffele, he's been bet up now, or he's been dropped in the number from 10-1 to 21. He's been injured all year long. It just doesn't seem like he's got it going on this year. So despite playing well in the Olympics last year and winning a major at the British Open, I don't think he's there. Jordan Spieth, he's been bet up to 35-1 now, or bet down to 35-1. Not a lot of action on him. Go just outside the top 10, Alex, and I really like these guys with some really good numbers on here besides the ones we mentioned earlier. Hideki Matsuyama's a former winner.
Yep.
He's opened at 30-1. He's 25-1 now. Former winners at the majors, former winners at the Masters are always there. They just know the golf course, horses for courses, as you mentioned.
Yep.
Hideki's not having a good year, but it would not surprise me at all if he's on the leaderboard on Sunday. Bryson DeChambeau has played great at the Masters. DeChambeau is at 20-1. Sepp Straka. And there's a guy that's won this year. He opened at 150-1. He's down to 50-1.
Wow.
He's never missed a cut at the Masters. Good guy to have if you're in a fantasy or you're in a pool.
Yeah.
You need 4 or 5 guys. Sepp Straka is a guy that I really like a lot. Don't know if he's going to win it, but Sepp Straka is a guy definitely in the money on Sunday, I believe. Min-Woo Lee, he just won 2 weeks ago. He opened at 100-1. He's down to 50-1. He's still 50-1. The guy won 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And he's a fan favorite as well. They call him the chef. Let him cook. And he's a really good putter. You got to putt well at the Masters. So those are some guys with some really good value right in the middle.
Right, the contenders.
Yeah.
That do have a shot. Because we know the long shots are not very profitable here with the Masters, right? You can't go too much further.
There's some guys here now that I kind of like just because they've been close. One is Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood has put up some really good rounds. He has not won in the U.S. He's won in Europe. Every year he's on the leaderboard at the Masters. He's finished second. He's finished third. He has not won it. He's at 40-1, and he's a pretty good, bet to be in that top 10. Victor Hovland is at 35-1. I like Victor Hovland, young guy. He's got as high as, I think, number 4 in the world. Really good player, grinder. He grinds it out. So those are some guys that you can look at that have some value, that aren't in the, if you want to take a favorite, great. You want to take 3 or 4 bets, and that's the best thing about golf.
Yeah.
You don't have to bet one team. You can bet 4 or 5 guys, and you have action all weekend long. And they reset the numbers every day as well, right, Alex? So
yes.
Let's say one of these guys doesn't make the cut, or it looks like he's going to miss the cut. You can get somebody the next day.
Right, of course.
Another great value in betting golf is if a guy has a bad round one day, that the next day they have a tendency to go low. And so if you're looking at the dailies and a guy shoots 76, 77 the first day, look at him to go low the next day, and you can maybe get a ticket out of him on Friday, right? Yeah. They might miss the cut, but you get a daily ticket out of them.
Okay, I like that. Great advice there. Should we go to some matchups here that you were looking at?
Yep.
Some head-to-heads. I know you started off right there with Scotty and Rory. Rory plus 130 to beat Scotty. Is that something that you...
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the one to watch, right? I mean, Rory is plus money. The number 2 player in the world. The guy's been right there in so many tournaments in his life. I think Rory's matured quite a bit. It would be great if Rory won. I think a lot of people are rooting for him to win. I think the fan will be behind him. Yeah. Although they like Scotty Scheffler a lot as well. And when Scotty Scheffler and Rory go against each other, the crowds tend to yell USA and cheer on Scotty. Yeah. So that's going to be one to watch. Plus 130. And then Rory plays Colin Morikawa, and he's minus 140. So it's just a total flip-flop where Morikawa is the number 3 in the field, right? I think he's a third choice. Morikawa is plus 120. He finished 3rd in this event last year. We just talked about him. That's going to be another great matchup. And then the one that is really interesting, if you believe in Colin Morikawa, he's plus 165 against Scotty, who's minus 185. So those first 3 ones on the board are awesome, fun bets. Not a lot of value, but you maybe put a little bit on them, and just so you can have really interesting watching that scoreboard the whole time.
There's a bet right here that stood out to me because you were just talking about Ludwig Ahlberg. Plus 110 against Justin Thomas?
Yeah, Justin Thomas has been playing really well of late, although he had a really bad year last year. He finished 2nd a couple of weeks ago. He had a shot to win it and gave it away on the last 3. I think he went bogey. But he's putting very, very well, and that's an interesting one. But I like Allberg in that matchup,
Yeah.
and I'm a Justin Thomas fan, but I like Allberg. There's an interesting one on here, on the fourth one on the sheet. It's the live matchup. It's John Rahm against Bryson DeChambeau. They got Rahm minus 140. He's been playing really well this year. He's won a couple times on the live, and Bryson is plus 120. He's been spending all that time on the YouTube stuff, so I don't know how well he's playing. I don't pay attention to a lot of live. I don't bet it, but that's an interesting live matchup.
A lot of people wanted to fade Rahm though once he went to live, and it's crazy. He did win this just 2 years ago.
Yeah. You know, it's just such a different game, Alex, of playing on the live, where it's just a different setup. You're playing in a shotgun start, so where you are in the field versus being in the last group of the day, it's a different level of golf, and I think it's taken those guys down a notch. Now, with that said, DeChambeau has played well in some of the majors, Koepka's played well in some of the majors, and Rahm has played well in some of the majors, but this is the fourth year they've been in the live. I think you're going to see their play drop off a little bit. Here's my favorite one on these props. If you want a really interesting play, go all the way down the list to the very last one on the board. Bernhard Langer is minus 135 against Angel Cabrera, a two-time winner of the Masters. Cabrera is plus 115. He finished second last week on the Champions Tour. Bernhard Langer's got health issues. He says he has trouble walking. He's already announced this is his last Masters. So he wants to go out with a flare, playing really well, but he's got leg problems. And Angel Cabrera hasn't been there for the last 4 years because he was in prison in Argentina. He had some tax issues. Got out of prison, sharpened his game, finished second on the Champions Tour. I love Angel Cabrera plus 115. That's one of my best bets for the weekend.
I love it, especially because we saw Tiger go through the struggles of the long walks of Augusta. So if that's going to be a problem for Bernhard. Last, we do have some props here, like you mentioned, about finishing in the top 10. We also have some score props that I'm very curious your thoughts on this. So prop sheet looks like this at the South Point. Nice colors there, but first one, 72-hole winning score of the 2025, it's 276.5, and it hasn't moved. You like that over or under?
That's the number at the Masters, 10 under, 11 under. It's right there every time. Jordan Spieth obliterated it, 18 under one time, but I personally like the under this year. These guys have been going so low this year in every tournament on the PGA Tour. I mean, it seems like they're 20 under every single week. And it's going to rain on Friday, which will soften the golf course as long as it's not windy. You know, PGA players like the rain because it softens the greens. You throw darts right at the holes. It'll make the greens a little bit softer. So I like the under of the 276 this year. I think they're going to be somewhere about 13, 14 under.
So should it rain, or possibly could rain Friday, and then pretty good weather
Gonna be beautiful.
weekend.
71 on Sunday. Going to be beautiful. Sunday is going to be absolutely beautiful.
Good. And then, of course, we have the 36-hole cut, the lowest 18-hole round, 64.5 right there.
Yeah, anything can happen there. I mean, 64.5 is a great round at the Masters, and typically some guy who's out of it shoots that, like they're out of it, and they'll shoot that on Sunday and, you know, shoot up for the leaderboard but have no chance to win.
Okay, what about this hole-in-one during the Masters? Yes, minus 160.
There's usually one on the 16th hole. The 16th hole is set up for a hole-in-one on Sunday. It's put right at the bottom of the little crevasse, and you hit it up there, it rolls back down, and so that's potential. I wouldn't lay money on a hole-in-one. I mean, these guys are good, but come on. I got to lay money, someone's going to make a hole-in-one. I'm not going to make that bet myself, but that's a fun one. My wife will probably make it.
I feel like last year we didn't have one. Is that?
Well, I don't recall. There's usually a couple every year, actually. There's a few, and there's the Eagles every year. I mean, there's a lot of those things.
And then, of course, we do have all the top guys here that we kind of went through. Can they make the top 10? So, can get some value here. Let's go through your best bets for this weekend coming up and kind of just rattle through those.
Okay, well, we got a couple guys who we didn't talk about earlier, so we'll talk a little bit more about them now. First off, one of my better bets is Morikawa. He's finished in the top 10 the last 3 years. I think he will finish in the top 10 this year. Scotty Scheffler's won 2 of the last 3. He started off slow. I think you're going to be able to get Scotty Scheffler to finish in the top 10. And then we get down to these guys that we didn't talk about earlier, but I want to mention is Will Zalatoris, Chris Andrews' favorite golfer. The Greeks love the Greeks, right? And Zalatoris opened at 35-1. He's now 50-1. This guy is pretty strong. In 2021, he finished second. He has 3 top 10s in his 3 starts at the Masters. He's right there. I mean, he's been right there. He hasn't won, anything, but he's always on the leaderboard. Like everyone's, who is this guy? He always appears in the majors. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Zalatoris were to sneak in there at 50 to 1. I also like him to finish in the top 10. I got a lot of guys finishing in the top 10. I think I have 12 guys finishing in the top 10. So I don't know how my math's going to work out on that. Then I have real long shots. Some guys that, I just want a ticket on them so I can hang up on the board. If they were to get there, I'd say, I had that ticket. And if they don't get there and they're close, is Justin Rose. He's now at 100 to 1. And Justin Rose played really well last year. He finished second at the British Open. He basically has focused his entire career at this point of his career of trying to win a major. And so he has won a U.S. Open. I could see Justin Rose being there on Sunday. Tommy Fleetwood is another guy we might have touched on earlier briefly, but 40 to 1. Tommy's not one in the U.S., but he's always there. He seems to always play his best golf on Sunday, which is what you need to do at the Masters. He tends to shoot himself out of a tournament on Saturday. He'll shoot a 70 or 1 or 72 on Saturday when everyone else is going low. Moving day, he doesn't move, he moves backwards. But then on Sunday, he'll go low. So I like Tommy Fleetwood a little bit as well as 41. And here's the guy, I mentioned Sepp Stratka a little bit earlier. But here's a guy, Wyndham Clark, who's on the sheet. He started at 40 to 1. He's been up to 80 to 1 now. And I don't know why he's jumped so high. He won the U.S. Open a couple of years ago. Another guy, former major winner, competing in a major. Wyndham Clark is one of the plays that I like as well. So those are the guys I like. And my absolute best bet that I'm probably going to make one of my bigger wagers on that's not the value bet is that Angel Cabrera against Bernhard Langer. I just really like that one a lot.
At the bottom, of course, of our matchup page here, rotation number 7099-7100. So that's one of your best bets. Is that, do you go through?
I'm all in on, here's my money bet. This is the one that I'm going to put my shekels on is Ludwig Dahlberg.
Okay.
I think he's at 15 to 1 is the best value in the field. I'm going to have small bets on some of these guys in the 40 and 50 to 1 because I think anything can happen with those guys. But I think on Sunday, Ludwig Dahlberg is going to be coming down the stretch with Scotty Scheffler, and we'll see how those guys finish it up.
Just a reminder to everybody, he was last year as well. Finished second.
It was great. It was a great battle last year. Yeah. Who do you like?
Well, talking it through with you, I think I'm going to have to jump in there as well with Dahlberg. I will say I am with you, though. I will have at least 5 to make the top 10. I think that's the best value if you're getting a plus price on some of these top golfers in the world to be in the top 10 and be there on Sunday.
And realistically, when you go down the sheet of the 95 guys, you can almost draw a line across after the top 35, 40 guys. They're great guys, and they might show up on the leaderboard, but realistically, once you get down to like the 50th player and below, like Mike Weir, former winner, he's on the Seniors Tour. Freddie Couples, Bernhard Langer, Zach Johnson, Charles, none of those guys are going to win this tournament. So take all them out. Now you got to find top 10 out of the rest of them, right? And that's where there's, and it's believe it or not, the best golf tournament to watch is Sunday at the Masters on the back 9, because they have the 13th and the 15th hole, which are both reachable par 5s, and you can win a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money. It's crazy. 13 and 15 are where the golf tournament's decided. That's the back 9 on Sunday, and we'll see what happens.
Scotty Scheffler, of course, the defending champion coming into this year.
Yeah, if he wins it, it's going to be no fun to watch. Right? I mean, you want to root for Scotty Scheffler, but he's 9-2. He's the chalk. He's such a great guy. You like him to win, but I'm not going to have money on Scotty Scheffler.
What if he doesn't have a great Thursday? And we can get double digit.
And maybe get some value? That's actually a great idea, because he hasn't started out very strong this year. So maybe Scotty stumbles a little bit out of the gate. He did that this week.
Yeah.
I think he shot even par or better the first round at the Valero, and then Saturday he was in second place. I mean, he made a move. He stumbled a little bit, but that's the thing. Go back and look at the dailies every single day, and you might have a shot. Go in and see Chris in the sports book, and maybe you can get a really good number on these guys and figure out who's going to make their move. Look for guys that played bad one day and are going to play good the next day.
I love it. Barry, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex. Great seeing you.
Barry Phillips, everybody. I'm Alex White. This is our Sports by the Book Master Special.